Good morning. Another episode, Tequila and Tofu, episode 5. This is at St. Louis VegFest Wrap Up. St. Louis VegFest 2024. Big shout out to my co-host in the house this week, the Curly Vegan.
Good morning.
Looking great and sexy and curly as always.
And happy birthday to
thank you so much.
Happy birthday to the hip hop vegan, Damon.
Oh, that's right.
And we got a special guest in the house for our St. Louis VegFest Wrap Up. And that would be John Meyer, representing START, St. Louis Animal Rights Team. So let's go ahead and let's get the show started.
All right.
First of all, this is I want to give a big shout out to you once again, John, for coming through this morning. We find our
Thank you.
This is our STL VegFest 24 wrap up, and we want to get into first. We want to get into a few things here. St. Louis VegFest, excuse me, St. Louis VegFest. For people who don't know, it was first here in St. Louis in 2018, and they had over 8,000 attendees. And as of now, it's grown to over 60 vendors of food, merchandise, and nonprofit and informational organizations. Now, food vendors would include anything you can think of veganized. It's pizza, tacos, protein bowls, hot dogs, chicken, coffee, smoothies, juices, baked goods like cookies, cakes, brownies, cheesecake, merchandise like jewelry, handbags, coffee mugs, body care products, plant-based and natural health products, which the Curly Vegan can attest to with some of the body butter that she purchased, that we purchased.
Shout out to Charlene Body Butter. Lemongrass Body Butter.
That was Charlie's.
I thought it was Charlene's Body Butter.
No, it was Charlie's Body
I just
Butter.
looked at the jar this morning. Okay, keep
Oh,
talking.
I could be wrong then.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, there were not a lot of good sponsors that we want to acknowledge. Carroll House Furniture, Local Harvest Grocery, Bombay Food Junkies, Carviva, and START, the St. Louis Animal Rights Team. Now, some of these vendors would include like Rasa Chai, Meat Stop, St. Martin, Easy Treats, JS Graphics, Big Mama's House Catering, The Flavored Pickle Bar, Yummy Cakes, Truly Melanin, Trippy Bacon, Citrus Bar, Earth Candy, Compassion Company Vegan Clothing, just to name a few. Be Juiced, Charlie's Body Butter, The Vegan Way Catering. That's just to name a few of the vendors who were there. Then you also have nonprofits that are like animal rights and activist groups. I want to pull up one of these video we have just to show people. If I can move this up, but it's not
Having
looking
some
like
technical difficulties.
Yeah, I thought it was a little simpler than that, but it doesn't.
We can come back to it.
But yeah, we're going to get this video up. But speaking of the nonprofit animal rights and activist groups, we have Maya's Mission, Second Hand, Paw Paw Pup Treats, Randy's Rescue Ranch, the Quick Fix Pet Clinic, iCareSTL.org, and the Missouri House Rabbit Rescue. These were all people who were at St. Louis VegFest in representing for animal rights. And that leads us to our guest today, which is the company called START. And this is the St. Louis Animal Rights Team. Their website is startforanimals.org. They were formed in 1985 as an educational slash activist nonprofit organization, and in 1988 they changed over to a charitable organization. Now, once again, representing them today, we have John Meyer.
Hello, hello.
Um,
Thank you.
John, can you tell us a little bit about what you do with Start?
Well, not much, to be honest. I know a lot of people from Start, but this was actually my first Start event. I'm not on the board in any way, but they are super open to people coming to volunteer and, spread veganism and all things plant-based. So,
We need you to speak into the mic, son.
oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. That's all right.
They're super, plant forward and also volunteer forward. Got to see and meet a lot of amazing people. Um, tons of people. Um, that's I think is their biggest event of the year is VegFest. Um, One of the great, probably top two organizations from veganism in St. Louis. But yeah, I didn't really do my research on them too much just because I've really only been with them a short time. I was thinking a lot about just veganism in general, but maybe another time I can come
How,
back and.
that's quite all right. How did you find out about the organization Start?
Well, initially I was gonna be volunteering for Big Mamas,
Mm-hmm.
but I had some uh, misunderstandings. I was at work and talking with Big Mama, and I was gonna meet with her to volunteer for her. She was working another event. She told me to stop by, and anyway, to make a long story short, I messed up and went to I think where it was supposed to be at the wrong time, and yeah, so she ended up going with someone else. Um, I know she's super busy. I was gonna meet there and see if she needed help anyways, and I ended up just volunteering for them. But I had already known some people in um, Start and Project Animal Freedom, whom I'm on the board of. Um,
What was the second organization again?
Project Animal Freedom.
Project Animal Freedom. Can you expound on Project Animal Freedom? Let people know what that is.
Yeah, so that's the one I'm a part of. I'm on the board, but I haven't been for very long. I'm just kind of still getting into the history of it and, just kind of getting how things flow, the meetings and the events and stuff like that. I've done a lot more events for them. Um, but yeah, they both have their pros and they specialize in certain things. I know Start is it's purely St. Louis, so they're very focused and they do a lot of stuff with like animal rights within St. Louis. Like again, I'm not an expert on it, but like horse-drawn carriages. I think they were. You're getting a call, by the way.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
We're fine.
okay. But Project Animal Freedom has multiple locations. Like I know Columbia's one, St. Louis, and they're kind of a more broad animal rights, veganism, less of the specific things going on. At least that's kind of what I gathered. Um, But yeah, check them both out. They both hold events. Sometimes they're at the same time, which is unfortunate, but it's you know that's just kind of how things work.
Now, how'd you get into volunteerism?
Well, I really was a lonely vegan, which I think a lot of people can relate to, especially if you started just based off of things you've seen online, like I did. Um, it, it really doesn't affect your relationships much in the long term or in the short term. People are kind of like, okay, whatever. But in the long term, you start to really feel that distance. So really getting some vegan friends, I think, is really important. And volunteering in events um, is the number one way for me to do that for sure.
Now, how exactly? Now, are you from St. Louis?
I'm from St. Louis. Yeah, I lived in Columbia for a little bit. Um,
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah.
Now, excuse me. I'm sorry. You said you used to live in Columbia. How how old were you when you decided to become vegan?
Let's see. I had just turned 22. So I've been vegan for about 3 years and uh, 3 or 4 months now.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
What
But
prompted your decision to become vegan?
Well, I just was pretty depressed. I was pretty, I had trouble making myself feel good. I wanted to work out and eat and keep things natural. I didn't want to rely on a daily pill or something like that. I'm blessed to have little to no um, health, ailments.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so close, but I just couldn't get it, and so I wanted to try being vegetarian. Did that for about 2 months. I liked it. I thought, well, how good can I feel? So I tried veganism. It was really high and really low at first, um, but once I started to read more books and really get the kind of technical side, not mastered, but started to master it. The better my diet, my energy levels, my mood um, progressed to the place where I wanted them to be.
How quickly did you see a change? I noticed you did say you were depressed. That was one of the reasons that prompted you to go vegan. So, how soon after you completely went vegan did you start to notice a difference in your mood?
That's tough. That's a tough one to answer. Um, it, like I said, it was real high and low, but it probably took um, I'll phrase it like this. I think this is the best I can do. I started to see bits and pieces of how good it could be,
Mm-hmm.
and then once I started to master it, slowly, progressively, um, it just became a reality. And now I love veganism. I love cooking my own meals, trying out new things. Uh, and that wasn't until fairly recently. For a while, I was an over the road truck driver, and that was pretty tough because I had to rely heavily on restaurant eating.
Yeah.
And but once I came back to uh, like a home daily situation
Mm-hmm.
where I just go out to work for a day and come back, and I can have an oven and a full size fridge. Then I really started to kind of iron things out, and it's not really a struggle for me anymore. That now that I kind of have the experiences, the knowledge of the books that I've read or listened to. I listen to a lot of books as a driver.
These were books on veganism.
Yeah,
Can you give us a couple of books that you might have listened to or read per se, just for anyone who's looking in going in that field,
sure, sure.
going that way, I should say.
Yeah, the 4 books that I've read by Michael Greger are super.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a really good start.
Yeah.
Have you read all of them,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
actually I don't know if there's all of them. He might have a few more, but I've read How Not to Die,
Yep. That's my favorite.
How Not to Die.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite. I have that book.
How Not to Diet,
Mm-hmm.
How Not to Diet.
yeah,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How Not to Age,
Mm-hmm.
and How to Survive a Pandemic. That one,
How to Survive the Pandemic
or a
or
pandemic.
a pandemic. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one really goes into the diseases that can come out of animal agriculture. The 10, 15 story high buildings that are crammed full of animals that have, little breathing room really is not the best environment to keep them from being sick. Um, and there's conflicts of interest with animal agriculture that Dr. Greger really goes into, especially regarding the, they could, obviously, animal science, they have it down to a science, right? Keeping animals healthy. But sometimes that conflicts with the revenue that they can make.
Right.
So keeping animals as healthy as they can be isn't in the best interest of who's making money off of it. So it's it's difficult, but it's important to read and really eye opening. And also with all of his books, there's going to be individual sort of just pieces of information that get thrown out that really help you solidify your vegan diet in the long run. Like just the individual spices and what they do, tea, stuff like that. That I kind of had some difficulty with, like all these little things. It seems like there's so many, and it seems like there's so much to know about veganism, but you just keep reading, and eventually it just kind of all set into place. But it did take me a few years.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's one thing I'm noticing is all the different research that you have to continuously do when you want to make sure that you're eating correctly, or just learning about different spices or tastes or flavors that you come across, like you say. Um, and I'm really glad that you are here today because, as me and the Curly Vegan were discussing, most of the time we focus on just the plant-based part of our dieting, and not so much the animal rights perspective, and that doesn't get spoken about enough. So that's pretty much, like I said, most of our focus today is on the animals and animal rights, and that's why I'm saying I'm glad that you're here today. Like you said, I'm trying to remember the name of the other organization again.
Project Animal Freedom.
Project Animal Freedom. Then you said that now that's more of a nationwide program, or
Yeah, it's been around for I think around 6 years. Um, it doesn't have the history that Start does.
okay,
Um, they like I'm on the St. Louis chapter board, and
now how'd you find out about Project Animal Freedom?
Project Animal Freedom's event was actually it was a STL vegan market, which I think you've been to, right?
Yeah,
Um, it was in March, I think, of this year, so pretty recently. Um, and I just went, met some people there who, some of them are now with Start. Um, but yeah, they moved over to start, and there were some positions available, which Kyle, the founder of Project Animal Freedom, uh, asked me to be a part of, asked me to, fill the role of board member, and I said yes. So yeah, they've been around for about 6 years, and they're more national, but just a few different locations right now.
Now I know we are talking about animal rights, but you did say earlier how you were going to volunteer with Big Mama's. I wanted to ask you. Shout out to Big Mama's house,
Shout
by
out
the
Big
way.
Mama.
What would you say would be the highlight you had of last week at Saint STL VegFest? Food wise, what would be the highlight that you had?
Ooh, food wise,
Or
I
a couple
got
of highlights. It doesn't. It hasn't be just one.
I got a lot of free food. I got free food from uh, oh man, I forget the name of it, but she took a video of me reacting to it. It was right next to Big Mama's. You remember who it was?
Fufu and sauce.
Yeah, fufu and sauce. I got some. Yeah,
I'm gonna be on the show soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
fufu and sauce. Shout out. Yeah, I bought a couple of their fried plantain chips. Those were good. And then I was gifted some. I think they're called Eclains, vegan Eclains, or something like that. The little like square donuts.
Oh, the beignets.
Beignets, yeah. Yeah, those are really good. Have you had those?
I didn't get a chance to have any of hers, but I definitely did get a picture of some on a video, and they did look very tasty. And I did see a few people who had gotten some. I was actually in line next to them. There was trippy bacon, because I've really been wanting some good vegan bacon, and theirs was great.
Nice.
So really quick, I know we're talking about the festival last week, but I did go onto Project Animal Freedom's website, projectanimalfreedom.org, and I'm looking at some of the merchandise. Some of their t-shirts are really awesome.
Yeah.
One t-shirt says, "I'm vegan because I give a cluck."
I didn't see that one yet.
One shirt says, "Weed is my favorite vegetable."
Yeah.
Meat is fucking up the planet. What else here? We got cow's milk is for baby cows. My food is grown, not born. I don't eat my homies. These t-shirts are $20, so not bad. I'm gonna order some of these. So these are really awesome t-shirts. So just wanted to put that out there so you guys can go on that website.
And before we go any further, if anyone wants to call in and any questions for John or any happy birthday wishes, number is 515-599-1687. 515-599-1687. And always remember that today's show, all of our shows, are brought to you by redblackandvegan.com. Redblackandvegan.com. Travel services as well.
One more. My cheese is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some pretty.
I love these sayings.
There's some
This is
pretty raunchy
awesome.
ones on there too
Yeah.
that were real popular. We did a couple Pride events that those kind of have a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Now, since we do have our esteemed co-host in the house this week, why don't you give us a few tidbits of how your take on last week?
I really love the amount of vendors that were there. We had already experienced some of dining experiences with like Bombay Junkies.
Food junkies.
Food Junkies. Sorry about that. What else? Bougie Bites. But we did get to go to one place. What was it called? Meetup or Meat Stop? Meat Stop. But it's
St. Martin.
MEEET. Stop. I'm a big advocate of good nachos. I love nachos. Anytime I go to a vegan restaurant and I see nachos on the menu, I'm automatically going to get those. So they had really good nachos. Also, their chicken wings were really good, and their macaroni and cheese. Then we got I got a what's it called? A golden goddess lemonade, and Damon got the lavender lemonade. I
That was
can't
from
remember.
Citrus Bar STL.
Yeah, Citrus Bar. It was amazing. It was about a 30-minute wait, but it was well worth the wait. 32 ounces of
Yeah,
lemonade, so that
very
was
long
good.
line.
Yeah, it inspired me to go home and try to mimic the recipe because I'm really good at doing that. Like whenever I eat out, I'm always trying to go home and mimic the recipe. I'm trying to think what else did we have. We had the trippy bacon. We had sliders and we had loaded potatoes as well. All that was delicious. So we had a good time. We met a lot of good people, made some good connects. Just all out good experience, good networking experience as well.
Oh, that's so great. That's great.
Sounds great. Oh,
It
that's
just
making me hungry.
it's just to piggyback on what the curly vegan was saying. I too would like to just give a big shout out to everybody that we came across. Once again, just some of the people that she didn't name, which was like JS Graphics. I mean, like since we're talking about shirts, they have some lot. They had a lot of great shirts, and cups and paraphernalia. Rasa Chai, who actually today I talked to them for a second. They're at Ferguson Farmers Market, which is a weekly event every Sunday. Ferguson Farmers Market. She said they will be there at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Uh, Big Mama's House Catering, like we were just talking about. The Flavored Pickle Bar, who today actually they're having a special today only. They have Jolly Rancher flavored pickles, buy one get one free, but you have to show the flyer from Instagram to get that pickle. Um, they have seemed like a million pickle flavors, all of which you'll be able to see on YouTube. If you come to the Road Tripping Vegans or My City My Music, you'll be able to see our STL VegFest 24 recap video. Yummy cakes, that peach cobbler cheesecake that was great. Um, Charlie's body butter and Be Juiced. Earth Candy, Earth Candy. That was the. You want to go ahead and expound on that?
So I do have a bottle of nectar that I purchased. It's the sweet and hot pepper nectar. We also sampled the strawberry nectar. You can do this. You can use this in a variety of recipes, but I purchased it because I like to enjoy a cocktail. So there are recipes on the side of the bottle. Spicy margarita is the recipe that I made today. And so this is just with tequila, sparkling natural water, 3 ounces of sweet and hot pepper nectar, and a half wedge of lime. And I also put my own little spin on it. I put some, I'm using coconut tequila and sweet lime juice with this, and um, with the sweet and hot pepper nectar. So this is a recipe I made today. I don't have fancy glasses, and I didn't bring any to share because it's so early. I didn't know, like, most people
Anyway,
don't drink at 11 o'clock in the morning. But we are celebrating the Hip Hop Vegan's birthday. But yeah, you can go on their website if you're interested, or the Instagram page, and it's Taste Earth Candy. That's their Instagram page.
I also want to give a quick shout out to someone who wasn't at VegFest, but someone who I thought was amazing at a STL vegan market. It was the community parlor, but instead of COMMUNITY, it's TEA. So community, and it's all sweet teas. Super good. Yeah, I helped her set up. She gave me a free tea, which was awesome, and it was amazing. You have to try them out if you see them.
And it's called Community
Community Parlor. Yep.
Community
Nice.
Parlor.
On Instagram.
Good shout out to y'all. Good shout out. Couple of things that we want to go over today. Once again, big shout out to John Meyer from Start St. Louis Animal Rights Team. Don't look up St. Louis Animal Rescue Team like somebody did and couldn't find anything. But things, a few things that we like to let people know about things that's going on locally and as well as nationwide. Um, the famous food festival is going on this weekend. It's at 152 The Arches Circle in Deer Park, New York. There's also the official vegan block party Fall Fest. It's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. You go to veganblockparty.com to find out about tickets. The official vegan block party, I believe they're based out of Orlando, and they have different events. Seems like monthly, and the vegan social ATL. It's every bigger names. I don't know if that's the right word, but there were. Well, not now I think about it, there were quite a bit more food vendors than what I originally thought. But just saying that, was wishing there would be more representation amongst the vegan community as far as vendors and people just coming out. Um, I know this city is not as big as some other cities, but I mean there was a nice turnout. It could have been more. It could have been more, but it was a lot of fun. Like as everyone has said, the networking aspect was very good. Learning like Bajan has stated earlier, within this community, just becoming and getting more and new and different friends, people who are
Yep.
more like-minded.
Super important.
Yeah, super is very important. Even though, like myself, for instance, I was more focused on just being plant-based with my diet and I, not really all that focused on animal rights. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but the more research that I've done, I mean, because I've always did like doing research anyway, and I like animals. I love animals. I don't want to take care of one, but
Same here. I can't have one either.
but I do love animals. I love reading about animals, and but like I said, I was always more focused on the dietary issue in the plant-based part, and not really getting too much thought into the animal rights part. But the more I get into being plant-based and slash veganism, you start to learn more and more about the animal rights, and understanding people's mind frames and mindsets who care more about animals than just changing their diet.
Yeah.
And
Um.
big shout
The
out to I mean before you go on, John. Big shout out to the it was the Missouri House Rabbit Rescue, having live rabbits for kids and adults to touch, pet, or just see. That was very good. That was very
Mhm.
good because you always want to make sure you have things for kids
Mhm.
to interact with, to keep their attention, and because you're not only trying to incorporate or show them a different way of eating, but like I've been learning more and more about animals in a different way. Not just you just love animals, but learning about animal, like you said, animal rights, rescuing animals and things, different things of that sort. Just with the people who were there, as far as like Randy's Rescue Ranch. Um, there was a whole section of just animal
Mhm.
for just basically think about organizations for animals. One thing I did want to ask you about, if you can or if you know, do you know anything about that raffle that was going on?
I just collected tickets for it. Um. I don't know. I don't know how it ended up or who won. I didn't
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
anything.
me neither. I
Yeah.
bought a 50-50 ticket and I donated to the, but I don't know, one or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I only stayed till 2 as well. So yeah, I think they might have drawn it at the end of the day.
Mm,
I never found out. I just tried to make the sales.
I understand. I understand completely. Um, One thing I did want to ask you because you stated earlier about you mentioned about cooking. What kind of dishes do you like to make, or can you make? I should say.
Well, being single, I kind of don't get a chance to really jazz things up a lot.
All you
I
single vegan ladies out there, you got a 25-year-old single vegan man.
yes, sir. Uh, um, what I usually do is um, I'll kind of go into a little bit how I sustain myself being alone and working a full-time job and everything. Um, I buy pretty much my macronutrients. I try to look at it as I buy my macronutrients in bulk. So fats is gonna be the oils, nuts, seeds, stuff like that. Nut butters I'll buy in bulk. Um, the carbohydrates, the pasta, the rice, um, kind of oats. It's also protein, but and then protein. The beans, the vital wheat gluten to make seitan, which is a big.
Oh, you make your own seitan?
Yeah, make my own seitan, and that's the kind of kick I'm on. There's a video. It's how to meal prep your own seitan, and she makes like 1,000 grams of protein of seitan at a time, because that way you don't have to break out the dishes every night, the parchment paper, turn on the oven every night. You can just make a big batch of seitan and store it. It's still good.
Typically, how long do you store it for,
I just
or
do
can
the
it?
week.
Or
Yeah, but you can freeze it. It's akin to meat in terms of how long it keeps. Um, but yeah, it's super good, super nutritious, packed with protein, cheap, incredibly cheap. Um, if
now, I hate to interrupt.
No
Before
problem.
you go any further, do you do anything quote unquote different or special to your seitan that
Yeah.
makes it stand out from let's say someone else at this table?
Well, I just kind of I take a bunch of you know, bunch of different things and put it together. I'm not really like, let me put like pineapples in my seitan or something, something
Hmm.
crazy. But I kind of gained the confidence to kind of change a few things around here and there. Say if I don't want something as spicy or I want something a little sweeter or something like that, I'll change it up. But it really is different every time. I don't really have like a
Like a set way to do it.
yeah like a recipe book or anything. I just kind of have a general idea of how to make it and change it up a little bit. Um,
I hope you ladies hear that.
And just to go back, rewind on when you mentioned macronutrients, for those that are watching and may not know what the term macronutrients are, it's just carbohydrates, proteins, and fats.
that's
So,
right, the
yeah,
big three.
the big three.
And yeah, all those ones that I said, like beans and stuff, will have a bunch of micronutrients, which is like the bunch of um, you know, I guess little nutrients. I'm not a super health nut. I can't give you the scientific explanation for it, but the those alone will have a lot of micronutrients. But on top of the bulk that you should have, I stop at the store a couple times a week to get fresh foods to pair with my meal prepped proteins and also the carbs or whatever I have over, and I make my own lunch. Keep a lot of food on you. You don't want to go hungry. Always better have too much than too little. Sometimes you have a little food waste, but that's okay. You know, just keep yourself healthy. I think is the best thing for the long for everybody.
Something that you had stated earlier, it's been on my mind since you said that, because you said you were a truck driver, and I'm trying to think of the name of the damn place that we was on when we was going to Chicago. The place at the truck stop with the vegan restaurant. It
Oh,
had,
really?
like, was it,
Wally's?
no, is it Naf Naf, something like that?
Oh yeah, you mean we were still in Illinois,
Yeah, we
like
still in Illinois, yeah,
you we
but
were
it's
still
like,
on this side of
yeah,
Illinois.
it's like in the middle of nowhere almost, but
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half from
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what made me think about that when
Yeah.
you said that because we was all we was gonna drive there for one time, but
Oh man,
But
sounds
that's
good.
how good the food was. So, like, we're willing to just do a road trip one day because, like I said, it's only like an hour and a half away from St. Louis. But yeah, it's
Cool.
an Indian restaurant.
because that's also one of the things that we got in the pipeline is developing an app to where people can just find plant-based restaurants.
Yeah.
Shout
Cool.
out to the people from Vegan Friendly who just came out with an app, but it's not all plant-based like ours is. But shout out to y'all anyway though.
I can't wait for that. That'll be awesome. I definitely
Yeah.
use that.
So now are you still a truck driver?
Yeah, but I just do home home daily stuff, and
Okay.
I don't drive a semi anymore. I just drive a box truck, just to
Hmm.
you know.
Now, what would you say, just in your travels, just around St. Louis, would be some of the places that you like to eat at?
Bombay Food Junkies is awesome,
Of course.
of course.
Shout out Bombay. Shout out Sid and his wife. That shrimp is great.
Yeah, we're gonna be trying some of that ice cream cake today.
Ooh,
That's true.
nice. Peace Love Coffee was the first vegan restaurant I went to. That's also awesome. They also have good stuff that you can buy.
You said it's called Peace, Love, Coffee.
Yep, it's in St. Charles, like off the old brick road or whatever.
We were just talking about how we got to go to St. Cross the Bridge and see some people because we haven't been over there yet
Yeah,
to a vegan spot.
yeah, that's good. Gokul, we just had a Project Animal Freedom event there. That was super good. It's Indian.
Gokul.
Yep, Gokul. I really want to try. You said it was St. Louis Deli and Butcher.
St. Louis Vegan Deli and Butcher. Shout out to them. They were supposed to be on the show today, but they had some problems at their restaurant and they couldn't make it today. But yeah, they got some really good food. They got some really some right on the corner of Gravois and Morganford. Um, yeah, I would definitely get over there. They'll hopefully be here within in the next on our next show in a couple weeks. But St. Louis Vegan Deli and Butcher, definitely 4 out of 5 plants.
What did you have this week?
Um, from them, what did I have that time? I had that was a brisket. I had a brisket. No, that was from somewhere else.
Station
I had
Number
a Philly cheese. Yeah, I had a Philly cheesesteak. That's what I had. that was a when was that?
That was
Monday,
just like on
Tuesday?
Wednesday, Tuesday
Yeah,
or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
Because the soup of the day was the cheddar and broccoli. I asked you if you got the soup of the day.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you guys already talked about this before, but I can't remember. And you might have talked about it on your podcast already. But can you refresh me how long you guys have been vegan and how you guys got into it?
I became vegan in 2015, so almost 10 years. My motivation was health related. I was in my mid to late 30s and I was having chest pains and shortness of breath. I went to the doctor. They said I had high cholesterol. I didn't want to take any medication, so I started researching because at the time I was already a vegetarian. So I'm thinking, well, I'm a vegetarian. I'm doing great. I'm doing everything I should be doing. So I did some more research and I watched a documentary called Forks Over Knives. And I believe Dr. Greger was part of that documentary as well. And the next day I went vegan.
Nice.
And haven't looked back yet. And also, I just wanted to let the audience know you did mention some books that Dr. Greger has written. I also have subscribed to his daily newsletter. So you can receive emails every day.
I should do that.
Some articles that he writes is very informative. All right, Hip Hop Vegan, how long have you been vegan?
Me, since the beginning of this year, got tired of procrastinating on making a decision to go plant-based. Thought I was eating fairly healthy and realized, and after doing my research and coming over to this side, I realized I really wasn't, even though I thought I was. And just was looking forward to changing my diet completely and not wanting to eat things that I shouldn't eat anymore. And that was my main focus was my diet and how I wanted to just change how I felt physically and mentally, which has been a very overwhelming, not so much overwhelming, but um, it has been life changing to understand a different way of thinking and eating and living, a much healthier way of eating and living. It's been a nothing but a plus physically. The benefits that is giving my body is unmeasurable. They're just it's just I feel completely different than I did 365 days ago.
Nice.
Which today being my birthday, but yeah, it's been a life changing experience. It really has because um, for one, with me when I was an omnivore, I never even envisioned having a life where I didn't eat meat. Um, Even though I didn't eat a whole lot of different things. I'm sorry. Even though I didn't eat like pork or things like that, I did eat a different amount of things. I thought I was eating, quote unquote, lean or low fat, but it was just never a thought. A long time ago, it was never a thought. Over time, it became like obvious to me just seeing other people go through health issues and knowing that everything that mainly not everything but mostly all health issues come from whatever you consume unless it's something genetic. So with knowing that over time, it was like you can't keep running away from that, can't keep pushing it away. And at the beginning of this year, it was just like I'm tired of procrastinating on a lot of different things, but mainly that, and being inspired by my wonderful wife, um, who makes sure that made sure that I learned how to do my proper research, and still keeps me up on my toes. She was the one who let me realize that I wasn't eating as healthy as I thought I was. I had a very high sugar diet. I mean, even though I didn't eat as much candy as I used to, I still had a lot of things with sugar in my diet. So learning how to cut that out first, and then progressing on to to dairy. I mean, I didn't eat a lot of dairy anyway, but it wasn't hard to just slice everything out.
What kind of sugar were you consuming? Like, in what type of
Sugar,
meal?
like in juices, not like highly sweet foods, but just not being aware of what was on labels.
Yeah,
Um,
they sneak it in there.
right, knowing there's thinking that the juice is healthy for you, but it's got like 45 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
So it's like
Soda,
learning
ice
things
cream.
like that.
Yeah.
Um, and and like I said, if I wouldn't have started doing research or coming to being plant based, I would have never realized I can actually eat ice cream again because I stopped eating ice cream because I didn't like the feeling that it gave you. So I would do things like sherbet, but it still wasn't the same as having plant based ice cream.
So let me ask, do you guys do like 3 meals a day, or do you do? Because some people, like the guy who was training me, he only eats 1 meal a day.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't do that. Me
I've
personally,
actually,
that just tears me up.
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I actually just tried it. I experienced because I'm going through perimenopause right now, so my body's going through some changes. So I did some research on it, and I do either like I do a coffee in the morning, like a protein coffee with plant-based protein powder, um, and I do like a mushroom coffee. I don't know if anybody's heard of that.
I've been starting to hear
Yeah,
stuff about it. It's getting
yeah,
popular.
yeah. And then I do one meal, sometimes 2 meals, but I do like the 16-8 intermittent fasting. So you fast for 16 hours and you eat within an 8 hour window.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, this is also a good hack. Um, this is my water bottle here. It's just a 32-ounce Nalgene, but I also have I've been obsessed with these guys for a while, or at least their product. I don't really buy from them because it lasts so long.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, this is a gallon gear.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a gallon jug
That
of
is
water. Um,
That is nice.
it
We were just talking about jugs of water the other day.
yeah, it's got this thick plastic. You can keep it cold with this case, and you can also store stuff in the pockets in the side. And
Nice.
and this is actually touch. You can touch through it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Where did you purchase it?
it's called gallon gear. There's the
All right, I'm looking it up right now.
yeah, yeah. The only two things I have to say about it is just keep water in it. Just keep water in it because the handle's kind of hard to clean, and don't screw the cap on too tight because it might break the cap. But other than that, I've had it for over a year and it's good. And they sent me a free cap when I broke my other one. Yeah, and so I'll have this gallon, and then this, and that'll be my water throughout the day.
Yeah, I drink a lot of water
Yeah.
a day. I actually just looked them up. They're on Amazon as well. Gallon Gear.
Check them out. Check them
Yeah.
out. Get your water, people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Drink your water.
Yeah, I usually only drink water every day unless it's a day where I'm having some tequila. Because this is tequila and tofu.
Right.
Then you
But-
gotta drink a lot of water.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wanted to piggyback on something that Damon said about eating healthy before he went vegan. There is a misconception for some people that they think if they're omitting red meat and pork, that they're eating healthy, or if they're eating certain versions of cheese. Like, well, I only eat mozzarella, Parmesan. I'm eating healthy, or I only bake my chicken, only bake my fish. You still aren't eating as healthy as you think you are because you're still consuming animal products. And so our body does better when we're on a plant-based diet. So I just wanted to throw that out there for those that feel like they're eating healthy because they're only eating like fish and chicken. You can do better.
Right.
Yep.
One thing I'm learning, especially with being plant-based, is about like an alkaline diet.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to make sure that I'm consuming or letting people know about consuming things that are the best for you. Whether it be superfoods or whatever. I know we were discussing before about different alkaline foods that people can eat. And if you want to expound on that.
Yeah, so there's a list. Dates, key limes, mangoes, watermelons, apples, bananas, berries, grapes, melons, oranges, avocados, bell peppers, cucumbers, ginger, kale, mushrooms, okra. I don't like okra. Olives, onions, squash, quinoa, split, wild rice, Brazil nuts, hemp seeds, walnuts, cherries, papayas, and figs. I would say I probably have about 50% of this at home already.
Nice.
Because like I say, it's just all about getting information out, letting people know, trying to consume the best things you can consume for your body, plant-based, naturally.
Yeah.
We still have this debate with people about eating meat and, well, I'm not going to, well, to each his own, but like they say, you can only lead a horse to water. You cannot make them drink. But we just here to let you know, we're just sharing the information about the benefits of a plant-based diet. And today, our focus is on the rights of animals within being just animal rights, period, and animal rights within the vegan community. And once again, our guest here today is John Meyer from START, St. Louis Animal Rights Team. Once again, if anyone wants to call in today or in the future, it's 515-599-1687, 515-599-1687. And as always, a big shout out to our wonderful sponsors, redblackandvegan.com. And my daughter keeps trying to call me. So, but one thing we want to conclude with today, once again, is we're wrapping up St. Louis VegFest 2024. And we want to let everyone know how much of a great time that we had as the Road Tripping Vegans. once again meeting a lot of new friends, old friends, new friends like John Meyer and and Start. Yeah, she just threw my video off. But
And Project Animal Freedom.
Project
Yep.
Animal Freedom.
Project Animal Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Uh, appreciate the shout out and everything. Love to see you guys again at the, any events that may pop up. I know we're getting a athletics club together for Project Animal Freedom. It's walking, running, and rucking. I don't know. Do you guys know what rucking is?
You said walking, running, and rucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
Never heard of
Want to
rucking.
expound on that for us,
It's
please?
it's basically walking with it sounds pretty lame, but it's actually really fun because it works out different muscles and stuff, but it's just walking with a backpack with weight in it, kind of like
Oh.
backpacking or stuff like that. It's
Kind
super
of like having
cool.
a weighted vest on.
Yeah, or a weighted vest too.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask you guys about, have you guys tried dandelion greens?
I
Dandelion
have.
greens.
I haven't purchased them, but I've had them in a salad before.
They're I had
Good
a,
superfood.
I made my own. I was like, wow. Another thing I wanted to ask you guys about, if you guys have read Badass Vegan.
Mm-hmm.
You've read that?
Yeah, and I actually follow him on Instagram as well.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know he had a book. Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what all I know you said you guys said that she gave you a lot of materials to read. What kind of materials has she given you specifically?
Forks over knives. Eat plants, bitch. How to eat to live. Just it's been a few different things. And it's been more so about reading those and, like I said, learning how to read labels. You know what to look for on a label. As far as what were we talking about? Like, excuse me, how to realize if Oreos are vegan or not. If it says what
Contains milk.
contains milk or contains
Egg.
soy,
Egg.
it contains egg. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but just like I said, learning things like that, learning exactly what to look for, so you're not perusing through a label like, oh, I don't know what I'm looking for. You're learning keywords and things to look for to see, like, is this good for me or not? Should I be consuming this or not? You know what I'm saying? And just learning about more and more about different seeds, different seed oils, different tastes, different ways to make things. Like I was just telling you before, she makes her own seitan, and just different. I had never had quinoa, especially quinoa mixed with rice, and just realizing how good that is, or being
Make my own
introduced.
cheese too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
introduced to cashew cheese.
I've never tried that before.
Oh
I'm
wow,
still.
we need you to come over our house then.
Mhm.
I'd gladly try some cheese or buy some.
Her cheese is better than Daya.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, thank you,
Nice.
baby.
I'm
Um,
not just saying
Another
that
good
'cause she
book,
here.
John, too. Is Skinny Bitch. So I looked that up.
Skinny bitch. Okay.
Yes, it's really good.
Sorry, I think you might have hinted at this. But did you have like a super secret or super, kind of different way to make seitan that I'm not hearing about that could make my
Um,
week go a lot better?
Yeah, it's just all about your spices. So, as you probably have experience since you become plant-based or vegan, I don't know how you want to, be labeled, but your palate changes. So when your palate changes, you can taste the spice. You can, experiment with spices and know what you like and what you don't like. So I usually just experiment with spices. Sometimes I like to use like dehydrated onion in my seitan and garlic as well. Fresh
Before
garlic, minced
be,
garlic.
Okay.
before we go further, For anyone who's looking that's vegan curious or may not know, please explain to them what seitan is.
It's just wheat gluten, basically wheat gluten flour. So if you have a tolerance to it's gluten, um, and if you have to be on I think it's called celiac diet or whatever, then you can't consume seitan because it is wheat gluten. But it's basically just the flour, and you add water, and you knead it like dough. Um, the way I make it, I have a quick version of it. I know you have a different version, but I use a steamer. So once I knead the dough, I put it in a steamer and I let it steam for 20 minutes. And then I break it in pieces, and then I fry it, or I boil it in some vegetable broth. It only takes like 30 minutes.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tried two different ways. I've tried. Oh, sorry. I tried the way. I also add a little. Do you add any nutritional yeast in yours?
I have not done that yet.
I tried it. The Burger Dude, THEE Burger Dude, has a good experiment video on adding nutritional yeast to seitan and how it affects the texture. And he found that about 20-25% nutritional yeast is really good. And you get that kick of B12 in there too, so it's really nice.
Nice.
But yeah, that changed the texture. So that's one of the things that I've added. But yeah, I've tried doing the dough, then breaking them into pieces first, and then steaming it, and then frying it, and then also the other video that I've kind of gone off of is the seitan meal prep one. I make a big batch of dough, then shape it, then cook it with parchment paper and tin foil for 20-30 minutes, and then 10 minutes without it. And those were good too. So lots of different ways to make seitan.
You can also put it on a grill and make a brisket.
Yeah.
Right, which I just had the other day. And that's just what I was just about to say. You know, you can make seitan for so many different dishes: brisket, chicken poppers, burgers,
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteaks,
Sausages.
Which
yeah.
we had this
Jelly
morning for breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I did realize early on is there's anything that you can have in an omnivore diet, you can have vegan. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
and
And you can really get it close. Like, you can add cornstarch to make it more tough.
Yeah.
And you can, a lot of the meat rubs and spices are what they call accidentally vegan. So they're vegan, but they don't have it labeled. They don't advertise it as vegan. Or you can, make similar ones. And you can make it taste different but similar and still give you that sense of culture and nostalgia, but also the pride of being vegan too. So
now I know I believe my wife asked you this earlier because I too have been someone that's had to deal with depression. How how can how can you expound upon how being plant based or changing to veganism affected being dealing with depression?
well, I definitely look at I mean, people know that animal agriculture heavily taxes the environment, um, and a lot of times other countries more than the U.S. because we eat a lot of meat, and a lot of the meat comes from other countries. And every time you look at something in a store, um, or a restaurant, or someone who loves meat, you kind of, it's just one more addition to all the meat that's being consumed on a daily basis, and how much different the world could be, um, if more people ate plants, and I didn't want to admit that had an effect on me I got pretty cynical, like, oh well, it's not, it won't reach me by the time I'm old or whatever. Not my problem. I have enough money to, you know, live wherever. They need to get their bread up, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but eventually, I kind of called myself out and really wanted to, stay true to who I was trying to portray myself as a good, uh, virtuous person. And so I thought I'd give it a try, and one thing led to another, and I love veganism.
I understand that. I ain't nothing but a big shout out for that one. Yeah, but once again, I can pretty much tell the difference that it's made in me mentally, as far as how to deal with certain things or think about certain things. I still got a lot of growing to do, even at 53 years old. I know I may not look it, but
You don't.
oh,
You
thanks a
don't.
lot. That's because I'm plant based.
That's right.
If I ate certain things, I would probably look a certain way. But once again, big shout out to you, John Meyer.
Appreciate
Big shout
it.
out to St. Louis Animal Rights Team. Uh, STL VegFest 2024. This is our wrap up show. It was a big success.
Shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You want to tell people where they can find you at on social media?
Sure. Just John Meyer. I really don't. Do social media that much. Um, but yeah, just John Meyer, and then also I'm on the Project Animal Freedom. If you want to see pictures of me, I'm on the Project Animal Freedom Facebook, and I'm also at the Project Animal events a lot. So come say hi.
Now, if anyone wants to get in contact with St. Louis Animal Rights Team, their website is start4animals.org. Start the number 4 animals.org, or you can write them at P.O. Box 440161, St. Louis, Missouri 63144, or email them at info@start4animals.org. info@start4animals.org. And the Curly Vegan?
Or you can also go on projectanimalfreedom.org, and you can email them at info@projectanimalfreedom.org. Also, since this was focused on animals, just a little stat, vegan diets also cut the destruction of wildlife by 66% and water use by 54%.
Big.
So we are using our natural resources up by not conforming to a vegan diet. I watch a lot of documentaries on water usage as well. This planet, we're really just running it down to the ground with, people eating meat. So I just want to throw that stat out there. You can find me. I had to go this way because the camera wasn't right there. You can find me on Instagram, Curly Vegan with a K. You can also find us on Instagram, Red, Black, and Vegan, Road Trippin' Vegans. You can find us on YouTube, The Road Trippin' Vegans, and our website, redblackandvegan.com.
Yep, looks like ain't no more that can be said after that.
Where can they find you?
They can find me at the Learn Something Podcast with Damon Hill, or redblackandvegan.com. The website, Red, Black, and Vegan on Instagram, or The Road Trippin' Vegans on Instagram, or The Road Trippin' Vegans on YouTube, which you will be seeing this episode debut later on today, along with the long-awaited video review of the St. Louis Veg Fest. With that being said, I'd like to wish the Hip Hop Vegan a happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And shout out to the plant-based baby and all my grandkids and my children. And we're out of here.